Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to another video class. This video lesson is exclusively for determination of residential status of individual, HUF, firm, AOP, BOI, and company. So this video is somewhat lengthy. I'm very sorry. I can't cut short this video into simple clips only because of the importance of this area is somewhat great. So all of you please listen this video very well. Let us move residential status, basic condition, additional condition, determination of residential status, criteria to determine the residential status as resident, non-resident, ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, etc. in detail. All of you please listen this video very well, and also we will discuss some provisions of the Income Tax Act for the determination of residential status. Let us take first one, that is individual. Determination of residential status of an individual is based on the provision of Income Tax Act. We have two conditions under section 6 subsection 1 and section 6 subsection 6. We know that section 6 subsection 1 is called basic condition, section 6 subsection 6 is called additional condition. All of you please listen. To determine the residential status of an individual, we have two conditions. First one basic condition and another one additional condition. Please listen while we are reading these sentences. Based on the basic condition, we have two criteria. In between these two criteria, there is a red mark or. That means one condition or other condition. Whereas while we are reading additional condition, in between these two conditions, there is a clause that is and. That means both the condition. There is no provision for selecting one. So let us see in details. Basic condition: he is in India in the previous year for a period of 182 days or more. We know what is meant by previous year. Previous year is the year which is just preceding the financial year. That's we are discussed in our previous lessons. So first condition, that is he is in India in the previous year for a period of 182 days or more. Or is a clause or. Another criteria, he has been in India for at least 365 days during the 4 years preceding the previous year, and he is in India for at least 60 days during the previous year. Second condition is very relevant. He has been in India for at least 365 days. It's not 1 year. You should calculate days in numbers. At least 365 days he should be here in India for previous year. First year 365, second year 365, third year 365. Never. At least 365 days during the 4 previous year, preceding the previous year, just preceding the previous. And he is in India for at least 60 days during the previous. It's very clear. So first condition, that is he should be in India at least 182 days during the previous year. Second one, he should be in India at least 60 days during the previous year and 365 days total for the last 4 previous year preceding the previous year. And second one, that is additional condition, he has been a resident in India in at least 2 out of 10 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. He has been resident, that means he should be in India for a period of 182 days or more. He has been resident in India at least 2 out of 10 previous year preceding the relevant previous year, and he should satisfy along with this one more condition, that is he has been in India for at least 730 days in all during the 7 previous years preceding the relevant previous year. It's very simple, all of you please. He has been in India at least 730 days. It's not mean 2 years. It's not mean 2 years. You please calculate in numbers. 730 days in all during the 7 previous years in total preceding the relevant previous year. These 2 conditions should satisfy simultaneously, only because of there is a clause that is and, whereas in the case of basic condition we have a clause that is or. So these are all the 2 conditions for determining the residential status of an individual. First one, that is he is in India for a previous year for a period of 182 days or more, or he has been in India for at least 365 days during the 4 previous year preceding the previous year, and he is in India for at least 60 days during the previous year. Additional condition, that is he has been resident in India for at least 2 out of 10 previous year preceding the relevant previous year, and he has been in India for at least 730 days in all during the 7 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. Okay, then come to determination of how to determine based on these criteria. Let us see. When an assessee is an individual who satisfy any one of the 2 conditions set out under section 6(1), that is basic condition. An individual satisfy any one of the 2 condition, that means basic condition, would be a resident. Suppose a person satisfy first condition, he is called resident. Or suppose a person satisfies second condition in basic condition, he is called a resident. Clear? Then an individual satisfy any one of the basic condition but does not satisfy 2 additional condition, he is said to be not ordinarily resident. It's very clear. An individual satisfy any one of the basic condition is called a resident. Okay, but it does not satisfy 2 additional condition, he is said to be not ordinarily resident. So there is a point that is hidden, that is an individual satisfy any one of the basic condition and both the additional condition, he is called ordinary resident. It's not mentioned in our slide, but it is hidden. Clear? An individual satisfy any one of the basic condition along with the 2 additional condition, he is called ordinary resident. Okay, an individual satisfy any one of the basic condition but it does not satisfy 2 additional condition, he is said to be not ordinary resident. And the last one, an individual who satisfy none of the basic condition would be non-resident. Clear? Okay, this criteria is illustrated in another slide, then it is very clear. Okay, from this slide it is very clear. An individual who satisfy any one of the basic condition is called a resident. And slide go below, that is ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident. Ordinarily resident means both basic condition and additional condition. Not ordinarily resident means otherwise. Non-resident means none of the basic condition. The former slide, it is very clear from this slide that is illustrated here. Okay. The next residential status of HUF. As in the case of individual, HUF have also three capacity, that is resident, non-resident, not ordinarily resident. It's very simple. Basic condition is there, additional condition is there. Based on the basic condition, as per section 6 subsection 2, if the whole or any part of the control and management of the affairs of Hindu undivided family is situated in India, the family would be resident. It's very clear. Whole and part of the control and management of the business or the HUF is situated in India is called a resident. Otherwise it is called a non-resident. Clear from the sentence it is, if the whole of the control and management of family is situated outside India, it would be non-resident. One more criteria we have, that is not ordinarily resident. How it is, we can see that as per section 6 subsection 6, if the karta of the family has been non-resident, only because of karta is an individual, so the condition of individual will be applied here. As per the section subsection 6, karta of the family has been non-resident in India at least 9 out of 10 previous year preceding the previous year, or he has been in India for a period or a periods amounting in all to 729 days or less during 7 years preceding the previous year. The HUF would be not ordinarily resident. Same additional condition as in the case of individual will be applied here. Clear? Okay. The next move to determination of residential status of firm or AOP. Firm or AOP have only two capacity, resident and non-resident. See section 6 subsection 2. If the whole or any part of the control and management of the affairs of the firm or AOP, AOP means association of person, is situated in India, it would be resident, otherwise it would be non-resident. It's very clear, no need of explain much more. Only two condition, two capacity, resident and non-resident. If the whole and part of the management of affairs is situated in India, would be resident, otherwise it would be non-resident. Clear? The next that is company, determination of residential status of company. Again we have two conditions, two capacity, that is resident and non-resident. As per section 6 subsection 3, if the company is Indian company or control and management of the affairs is situated wholly or partly in India, would be resident. There are two situations. First one, Indian company. Indian company is always resident. And another case, that's control and management of the affairs is situated wholly in India, it would be resident. Otherwise it would be non-resident. Clearly, there is no provision for not ordinarily resident for company, AOP or firm. Okay, clear. Next we move to the last area, that is determination of residential status of other person. We have discussed individual, HUF, firm, AOP, company. One more person we have, that is other person. According to section 6 subsection 4, if the whole or any part of the control and management of affairs is situated in India, would be resident, otherwise it would be non-resident. Here also we have two capacity, that is resident and non-resident. There is no provision for the capacity of not ordinarily residents. Let us conclude here. Determinations of residential status of an individual, HUF, AOP, firm, company and other person. We have basic condition for individual and HUF, additional condition for individual and HUF. Others, that is firm, AOP, company, other person, only we have only one condition for determining the residential status of two capacity, that is resident and non-resident. Only individual and HUF have three capacity, resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Let us conclude this video here. All of you please go through these slides and text material Clear? Thank you to all.